Hello, hello! Welcome back, you guys. We've finally made it to part 2 of the spoiler Throne of Glass reading vlog. If you haven't watched the first part of this series, I definitely suggest going to watch that first, where I read the first 4 books in Throne of Glass: Assassin's Blade, Throne of Glass, Crown of Midnight, and Heir of Fire. I am going to be ambitious with the last part of this vlog because right now it is July 1st and I plan to have all 4 of these books read by the end of the month, which to some in the book world is not a lot, but this is like 4,000 pages or something crazy like that. It's going to require me to put down my phone a lot, but I just really want to dive deep into this series. So obviously we are now on Queen of Shadows. I am currently on page 152. Aelin is literally in the middle of rescuing Aedion from the king. So what have we learned so far? Aelin came back to Rifthold. She was kind of like laying low for a while. She saw that Chaol was meeting with Arobynn. She has made a whole new deal with Arobynn that if he can help her save Aedion from the king, that she will bring him one of the Volg princes. I don't think she's going to bring him a prince. I think that her deal was to bring him one of the king's men that is possessed by the Volg demon. Arobynn is being his normal self, which, okay, wait, let's just pause for a second. I need to talk about Arobynn because probably my own fault completely, because obviously probably in Assassin's Blade there was a description of him at some point, but I just completely ignored it. I literally thought Arobynn was an old man. And you know what I pictured him looking like? I pictured him looking like President Snow. It's exactly what I pictured him like, guys, this whole entire time until she was in the vault with him and she's like, his auburn hair. And I was like, wait, no, she was like, his auburn hair and his sculpted muscles or something. And I was like, wait, he's an old man. And then I looked it up. I looked up fan art. Guys, he's not an old man. He is not what I was picturing this whole entire time. So now I'm trying to rewire my brain to think of Arobynn as the fan art Arobynn and not Coriolanus Snow. But anyways, sidetracked there. She's getting all involved with Arobynn again, which I kind of feel like is a bad freaking idea, Aelin. Like, I don't know. Like, I feel like you should be able to foresee that this is not a good freaking plan. Dorian has a wordstone collar. He is being possessed by a Volg demon. Chaol is still leading the rebellion. We've also met Nezarin now, and who else have we met? I think that's it. Lysandra came back, and her and Aelin are going to try and be friends, which is kind of sweet and wholesome. Does that mean Lysandra's gonna die? Hi, dude.
Hi. Hi guys, my name is Leo.
I lost my train of thought. Oh yes, Lysandra's back. They're trying to be friends, which automatically in my mind makes me feel like she's gonna die. Let's think about Sorsha here. Like, a new character comes in and we're like really happy for them. I have my guard up about that. Is Lysandra gonna actually turn out to like betray her? That would really suck. As far as Chaol and Aelin go, I'm feeling sad. We all know my thoughts if you watched the first video about Chaol and Celaena. I love them. I love Chaol. I still love Chaol. He definitely has some flaws, some flawed thinking and everything, but I'm annoyed because if they're not going to be lovers, like, it's fine, but like, I want them to be friends. I don't want them to be in this like bickering mode like that. So that is annoying me. Aelin is bothering me and Chaol is bothering me, but I do understand. It's like a lot of changes happened and they're both just pissed off about how things went. So I get it. Like, I get why they're bickering, but I really hope that they can become close again. I don't like that Aelin is like wanting to kill Dorian. Like, I understand, like, she thinks it's like a mercy killing, but not a fan of that. You just said that you don't want to add names to your tattoo. So like, I don't really get why she wants to do that. Maybe I'm adjusting to the changes, to the change from Celaena to Aelin too. I don't know. Aelin just feels very like a lot colder than Selena did. Like, Selena had like attitude, which I kind of liked, but Aelin feels like cold in a way. Those are my thoughts so far. I'm really enjoying this already. Only 150 pages in. I know that I'm gonna like this more than all of the other books I've read so far. I did like the beginning of this series, but I found it to be slow. But I heard that the last half of the series really picks up. Oh, also, we haven't seen anything from Rowan yet in this book, but Manon is she's with Duke Parrington at Morath. Kaltain is there too, and Kaltain has a Wordstone collar on also. So that sucks. So yeah, Manon is stationed there with her 13 and their wyverns. And Duke Parrington just asked her to grab a few witches that we can impregnate with the Volg. And she's like, WTF, no. And he's like, you're gonna do it. And then walked away. So there's that. Manon and what is her second's name? Astrid had kind of like a fight because Astrid is really kind of questioning Manon and her actions. Manon made Sorel her second for now because Astrid was pissing her off. And that's where we are. That is where I currently am. I'm very excited to see what's going to happen. If we're talking about like exact moments where I'm at, Selena is in the gardens with Adian. Like, she just rescued him and they're in the gardens. They're like running away from the castle, and then they stop because Dorian is calling after them. So she turns around and she's like, give me one sign that you're in there, Dorian. And like nothing happens. And it's just like the Volg demon talking to them. And so she literally takes the sword of Orinth, her father's sword, takes it from Adian, and she's literally about to like cleave through Dorian. And then Nezarin like comes out of nowhere and she's like, stop, don't. So that is the exact spot that I'm at right now. Let's go read. I also forgot to mention that Manon has met Elodie, which isn't Elodie, what's her face's daughter? What's her name? The servant lady who like sacrificed herself for Aelin. Isn't that her daughter? So I just had a moment in Dorian's point of view, chapter 21. It's like 1 page long, where he is mad that Aelin didn't kill him. So I guess I can't be mad at her. The last time we talked, we were talking about Dorian and how I was kind of on Chaol's side about Aelin trying to kill him, but I do see both perspectives now. I'm on chapter 40 right now, so I'm halfway through. We've had a few other chapters with Dorian, and he's just really not doing good in there. So I don't blame Aelin for wanting to kill him and end his suffering. Rowan is in Rifthold now. Manon has like taken Elodie under her wing. Is that how you say it? Elodie? Elide? I don't know. I'm just gonna say Elodie because that's what I think it is. I'm gonna look it up. Elide. Anyways, Manon has taken her under her wing. I'm currently in Manon's chapter right now, and I'm at the part where she just drugged the laundress and she is now... I feel like I keep getting confused about what she is doing. I think she's still trying to escape. I think that's what she's currently doing. I'm so scattered. I can't even remember like what's been going on. Lorcan also is in Rifthold, and Aelin like brought him down into the sewers to trick him and brought him into like the Volg nest with like the Volg or the Wordhound, and he killed them all. So Lorcan's kind of scary. I don't know where he went to. It was like they had that encounter, Aelin and Rowan and him, and then all of a sudden he just was gone. So I don't know what's happening with him. We haven't really seen much of Kale. He is starting to get on my nerves a little bit, but at the same time, like, I do still feel bad for him. I feel bad because I feel like he was like really head over heels for Celaena and the rug just got ripped out from under him, but part of that was his doing. Most of that was his doing. So like, you gotta lay in the bed that you made. What is that saying? So yeah, we haven't seen much of him. Nesrin has been kind of chill so far. I'm like questioning if she's gonna turn bad. I don't know. Lysandra, also, we just learned that she's a shapeshifter, which I did not see coming at all, not gonna lie. But I am also questioning if Lysandra is to be trusted. Aelin is putting a lot of trust in her, but I feel like it was like kind of insta trust. Like they were like, let's be friends. And she's like, okay. But I mean, Lysandra did help them out a lot with a bunch of different stuff. So I don't know. I'm just on edge. I'm just like, I don't know who to trust here. Basically, I only trust Rowan and Aedion at this point. And Aelin's kind of annoying me too because she's not being completely truthful with Aedion and Rowan. And that's like what they're there for, to help her out. So I'm very curious to see what's going to happen with Dorian. I have a feeling they're going to get him out of there. The whole word hound thing in the sewers, that was freaking creepy. So sketchy. I am really enjoying my time. These just feel slow to me. I don't know what it is, you guys. I think that I just had extreme high hopes for these. I thought there would be more adventure. Hopefully more adventure is to come. I'm not disliking this series at all. I think that the hype just got to me. I just thought, I don't know. As of right now, you guys, I feel weird saying it because I really thought I would like Throne of Glass more, but as of right now, halfway through Queen of Shadows, I'm still more of an ACOTAR girly. I don't know. I just felt like a lot of stuff was happening in ACOTAR all the time, especially in the second and the third book. The fifth book was my least favorite. But even in the fifth book, there was stuff happening. I feel like it was pretty repetitive. But why are we talking about ACOTAR right now? I don't know. I'm really enjoying it. I love our characters. I feel attached to our characters. I'm very curious to see what's gonna happen. I just feel like up until the point that I'm at, it's just been a whole lot of buildup and a whole lot of just not like going in circles like how I felt about A Court of Silver Flames. Like I felt like that book was just like a bunch of like circles. So it's not like that. It's not the fact that she's like repeating herself or that like nothing's happening, because stuff is happening. It's just like, I just pictured there being a lot more action, I guess, in these books. So I am probably putting my foot in my mouth because I'm sure later on there will be a lot of action that will devastate me. So that's where I'm at. Don't get me wrong, I'm still really loving this series and I'm very intrigued. Let's go read some more. I just remember what Elodie is doing. That's like another thing, is like we go so long like in Aelin's perspective that I forget what's going on with Manon, and like vice versa. Manon had Elodie go see what was going on down like in the dungeon area, and now Manon's like asking her what happened. Arobynn is dead. Thank you very much, Lysandra. I guess maybe we can trust her. Also, Parrington is now asking Manon for more covens. After all that she's been through with Asterin, all the witches are judging her and she's struggling. Also, we never talked about the fact that Kaltain, at least I don't think we did, Kaltain has powers and they're forcing her to use them to just burn people. So I am going to try to binge the last less than 100 pages. I have about like 85 pages left, and it's getting wild. They are now in the castle. Aelin is like trying to get Dorian to come back to himself. She put the ring on him. We haven't heard from Chaol yet, but he was left with the king, and Rowan and Aedion are in the catacombs and they're blowing up the tower, but they learned that Lorcan did not take care of the word hounds, and so they battled the word hounds, and then Lorcan came back and saved them, and so now they are in the sewer tunnels with all of the Volg soldiers. So Aelin's up on that tower with Dorian. Chaol is still with the king, I think, and Aedion and Rowan and Lorcan are in the tunnels, and I love it so much. I'm on chapter 75 and I'm just at like a little break, and we're in Aedion's perspective, Aedion and Rowan, and Aedion's like stepping in front of Rowan and he's like, okay, like at least I can go out like trying to defend Rowan, and I'm literally so happy, and I'm just literally like, slay. The Volg commander is like telling his army to attack Aedion and Rowan, and then the Volg commander's hand is ripped clean off by a ghost leopard. Is that Lysandra? That's totally Lysandra. Oh, I love her. What? I never thought I would say I love Lysandra. Okay, I'm so excited. I'm very excited to see what happens next. Let's read. Now that was a true SJM ending. I think the last time we talked, Lysandra was headed into the sewers to help Aedion and Rowan. Rowan finally got out of the sewers and then went to Aelin. Lysandra also ran to Aelin. Aelin put the ring on Dorian, the one that like deters the Volg or whatever, and Dorian came back. I don't know if like the king just like overcame the Volg that was in him, but he was being controlled by a Volg. He literally like apologized for everything that he did while he was under the Volg's control. So that was a twist. That was a twist I did not see coming. And then Dorian still killed him, which was probably out of mercy, but also he was probably like, I don't care. I hate you. So Dorian shattered the glass castle, and then Aelin did something like burned all of the slivers of glass so that it wouldn't harm the people of Rifthold. And then Dorian built the glass wall around the remaining parts of like the stone castle. Rowan, when the glass castle shattered, Aelin fell to her death, and then Rowan used his wind to like ease her down. And then she woke up on a hillside and then just like marched in front of all of the Rifthold people and was like, I'm taking control of this kingdom until Dorian can take over for me. So yeah, so intense. And then, oh right, Chaol was not killed by the king, but he was paralyzed from the waist down. So him and Nezarin are on their way to the southern continent to the healers to see if they can fix his legs, and also he is trying to get the southern continent to ally with Aelin and Rowan, like Aelin and Rifthold and all of them, against the Vogue King, which is actually Duke Parrington. Wild. Did not see that coming either, honestly. I expected that Erewhon was still like underneath Morath, so that was wild. What else? Kaltain literally shattered a third of Morath and took herself out and all of the witches that were being implanted at the same time. Manon brought Elodie to the forest to escape her uncle. So much happened, you guys. Truly, that was amazing. The ending of this was so amazing. This has 100% been my favorite book of the series so far, and I've seen other people say the same thing. So, you guys know what that means. We are on the tandem read. I'm not far in. I'm on chapter 7, I believe, of Empire of Storms. Yes. Chapter 7 of Empire Storms, and I already read chapter 1 of Tower of Dawn. I wrote down tandem read on a piece of paper so that I can keep track. They've met with, what's his name? Ren and Darrow and Myrta, and Darrow's basically like, I don't know why you assume that you're just the queen now, because we have rules here, and so now she has to like win over all of the landowners in Orinth. Yeah, I guess in Orinth, or like in Terrasen in general. Yeah, she has to like win them over and basically have them all vote for her in order for her to actually get onto the throne. But she's like, this is BS because I'm literally a direct descendant of the rulers in this territory, but whatever, I'll just play your little game. And in Tower of Dawn, obviously I only made it through chapter 1, so we're just basically in the southern continent with Chaol and Nezrin. Oh, also in Empire of Storms, I just read about the witches invading Rifthold, and I'm literally at the part where I think it's Abraxos crashes through Dorian's tower. That's the precise moment that I'm at right now. Really liking it, guys, really liking it. And this one, the action starts like right away. I'm on page 82 and there's stuff happening already, so about 25% of the way through both of these books. Chapter 19 for Empire of Storms and chapter 15 for Tower of Dawn. I'm very intrigued. I feel like these books so far have been very politically driven, which has been interesting. Or at least Empire of Storms has been very politically driven, I feel. As far as Aelin, Aedion, and Lysandra go, they are in Ilium. Brannon just appeared to Aelin and gave her some information that was not openly useful, but that they will probably discover later. Something about locks under the sea or something like that. So that's very interesting. They've also taken over the temple in Ilium, and they had to kill a bunch of Adarlarnian soldiers. Also, I was screaming, crying, throwing up because Manon saved Dorian, and then she was obviously tried by the High Witches in every coven, and they decided that the best form of punishment was to kill Astrid. The second that the High Witch said that, I was like, oh no, we're getting out of this. We are getting out of this. Astrid is not gonna die. And lo and behold, I was literally jaw on the floor earlier when I read the part where Manon is like about to behead Astrid, and instead she just turns and says like run to the 13 and then slices her grandmother. My jaw was on the floor. Obsessed. And also the fact that she just like jumped off a cliff and somehow landed on Abraxos. So that's where we are with Manon too. She was bleeding a lot, and the yellow legs were following her, but she dove into that like ravine thing, and both of the ones that were following her died. As far as Elide, I think it's Elide. She's now with Lorcan, and she's under a fake name with him, but she has told him basically the truth about everything else, that she's trying to find Selena and she's trying to find Aelin. So that's where we are in this one. In this one, Chaol has started his healing process with Yrene. I knew Yrene was going to come back, by the way. I'm so happy she did, and I'm so glad that she is so happy where she is at the Tor Chesme. But yeah, he just had like his first healing session, and they were both like super drained, and he was being all gentlemanly and letting her have the first sip of tea. There was a moment though, I forget what moment, where I was like, don't like that energy, Chaol. Don't like that energy. I think it was when he was first talking to Yrene. They are now headed to the tower, or they just got to the tower by horseback. And Chaol is like so internally embarrassed by his legs, and the girl's trying to get him off of the horse, which I don't know why that was the plan anyways, but he's like, okay, these are like the first things, because he's like helping Yrene teach a defense class. These are like the first things that you need to know, and they're all like, yeah, we know that already. Also there was the attack in the tower library, so Chaol has Nesryn looking into that, because the healer that was attacked obviously died and was like drained, just like the kind of way that a Volg would drain somebody when they kill them. So they're thinking there might be a Volg demon in Antica. I am still trying to keep track of all of like the Coggin, all of the Coggin's kids. There's a lot of them, but Sartaq, he's suspicious to me. I don't know. He could be an ally, but he's suspicious to me. There was one moment that SJM put in here, and like I could be just wildly wrong right now. I don't know where it is, but when he snuck up on Nesryn that night that she was like trying to scope out the tower, the night after the attack happened, and SJM described him as having a scarf around his neck, and I'm like, is that hiding a collar? He feels very suspicious to me, so I'm questioning whether I'm going to get all of these books finished by the end of July. This vlog is definitely coming to you before September, I know that, but it might be in August. I just did the really big Empire of Storms stint, chapter 33 through 55. So I'm now, I guess I would call that 3/4 of the way through about, and about 2/3 of the way through Tower of Dawn. I am finding the tandem read to be a little bit difficult, not gonna lie. I think I'm getting slumpy. It's not because I'm not interested in the story and our characters. I obviously love the story and the characters and the world, but I think just reading these back to back, not these in particular, but reading the Throne of Glass series just like in a stint has been a little bit difficult. I think I'm finding that I tend to get slumpy if I don't have something to like break it up, which is weird because I did ACOTAR as like one giant stint and I was not bored for a frickin' second. I don't know if I'm just an ACOTAR girly. It could also be with ACOTAR that was like the first book series that like really got me back into reading, so I was just like really excited. I'm not sure what the reasoning is, because I am enjoying the world and the characters, but I am finding myself wanting to read other things, which is just strange. Again, not because I don't like the world and the characters and everything, but I think it's also just a very long process reading all of them, and Kingdom of Ash is starting to look daunting to me. But anyway, I think I updated you guys at about halfway. In Tower of Dawn, possibly a Volg was like chasing Yrene through the palace, so that was really creepy and scary. So that was very intense. So they're like, and they haven't like found anything out about who it was or where or why or anything. So that's creepy. I'm like on edge about that. Chaol and Yrene are cute. They haven't like fully embraced their love that I know is coming, they're still really cute. I approve of Irene for Chaol. And yes, I need to be the one to approve Chaol's love life because I love him. I didn't like him and Nesryn together. Not that I don't like Nesryn, I just don't like them as a couple. Nesryn and Sartaq are still with the Rukin clan or whatever, like in the mountains, and they have that shapeshifter guy. I can't even remember. Like, I can't even keep track of like the names and stuff. And I don't know if that's because I'm slumpy or if it's just like a lot. I'm not sure. But the shapeshifter guy that was in the mountains with the Rukin, and he like saved them from the spiders, whatever the spiders are called, because I can't remember the names. Like, I just don't have room in my brain to remember all of the different people and places and things. So it's just been kind of hard in that way. I am starting to feel a little bit less suspicious of Sartaq, but I'm still like a little bit questioning. Nesryn's about to get a Rook, for sure. And also I feel like Nesryn is gonna stay in, once again, I don't even know, Antica. And Chaol's gonna travel back, probably with Irene. So anyway, that's where we are in Tower of Dawn. Chaol can move his legs from the knee down, so that's really cool. Chaol accidentally fed what he thought was going to be harmless information to Irene to give to Hasar, and it actually was very harmful because Aelin and everybody actually ended up being in Skulls Bay, which is where he told them they would be because he didn't think that they would be there. And that's just such a Chaol thing to do. Really is. Truly. Poor Chaol. He can just not ever make a correct decision. But anyways, that's where we are in here. I'm very curious to see what's going to happen, especially with like whatever is chasing Irene. They're saying is a Volg, but like what is it? I don't know. And here, a lot has happened here also. They finally got Rolf to be on their side and help them, they think, so far. And they're voyaging to the Stone Marshes when Manon just shows up on Abraxos. Or Abraxos just brings Manon to the ship, and then they have her in the dungeon for a while, and then her and Dorian are like having their little thing. And they take her out of the dungeon. Right now they just arrived at the Stone Marshes, so I'm not sure what's gonna happen next. They're like getting off of the ship right now. The part where Manon like rips the Kraken cape and ties her hair with it and then throws the rest into the ocean. That's where I'm at with them currently. The scene, I don't think I talked about this yet, but the scene where the Volg were like coming into Skulls Bay, that was very intense, especially with Lysandra, like having to deal with those, I don't even remember what the name of them are, those underwater things, sea wyverns, I don't know what they were. I can't keep track. I cannot keep track. So that was pretty scary. I was concerned that Lysandra might actually die. So glad that she didn't, but I am not thinking that anybody in this series is safe. I am 98% sure that at least one or two of these people in Kingdom of Ash are going to die, maybe even before Kingdom of Ash. I don't know. I'm just bracing myself because obviously when you read this many books with these people, you're very, very attached to them. Oh, Elodie also, her and Lorcan have now basically told each other all of their secrets and they're on their way to find Aelin, but Lorcan has not told Elodie that he plans to murder Aelin because he found out that she gave him the fake word key. So yeah, they're both headed to Aelin, and Elodie's like, yay, we're going to Aelin, and Lorcan's like, I'm gonna kill her. So we'll see how that goes. Also, Elodie almost got taken by Vernon again because the Ilkin, wow, look, I remembered a name of a creature. They came with Vernon to the town that her and Lorcan stopped in, and yeah, almost got her back on the carriage, but obviously Lorcan saved her. Lorcan and Elodie are cute. I do find Lorcan to be annoying. If it's gonna be a situation where like he hates everyone except for her, which it's turning out to be, I'm down for that. There are definitely a few things that I don't love about this series. One of those things being that Heir of Fire was kind of like a strange turning point for, not turning point, I don't know. In Heir of Fire, we just met a lot more people and there was more world building. And then the second to last book, Tower of Dawn, we have a ton of world building again. And I just don't really know if I like that. Like when you have a series series this long, I just feel like the world should already be completely built by the second to last book. And if it's not completely built, like the world building should be very slight. And I just feel like this, especially with like Nesrin's portion of this, it's heavy on world building because they're on a whole separate continent now, and I'm just finding that hard. So I'm finding that hard, and I'm also finding it hard that we met so many other people in Heir of Fire, and I don't know, I don't really know how to explain it. I feel like I'm far more attached to the characters that have been here since the beginning than I am to the characters that we met in Heir of Fire. Like, I feel really sad because I don't feel connected to Aelin and Rowan's relationship, and I don't know if that's because like I am just like upset about Chaol, but like I'm trying not to be like pathetic about that, but I think it just kind of frustrated me that like Aelin went through so many of the male characters. I don't know. I think I said that before in the last vlog too. I was so excited for her and Dorian in Throne of Glass, and then she just switched to Chaol in Crown of Midnight. That's like my limit, is like one switch. One romantic switch in a series. Because after she just dropped Chaol, now she's with Rowan, and I know that it's because of like her identity change, and like her identity doesn't fit with Chaol anymore. I just don't like it. I'm finding it hard to get past, and I don't hate Rowan. I like him well enough, but I'm not like obsessed with him. And then also you have Sam. And I know that he was like before any of it, but it's just like there's so many men that she's gone through, but not in like I'm not trying to be like shameful. I'm not trying to be like, oh, she should be ashamed of how many men she's been through. I don't know. It's not that. It's like the second that I started getting attached to her in a relationship with one of these men, it just blows up, and then she goes to in a relationship with another man. So like I'm not really connecting with them, but that was very long-winded. And I'm finding the same exact thing with Dorian. Like first it was obviously Celaena, and then it was Sorsha, and then like it's always the second one, like the second relationship that I'm very attached to, and I like don't want to let it go. Like I'm very attached to Celaena and Chaol, and I'm very attached to Dorian and Sorsha, and like anything past that I'm like I just don't really feel attached to this because it's just kind of annoying at this point. So like Dorian and Manon, obviously they haven't like started anything, but like clearly they've started something, you know? I feel like Manon needs love, and I feel like Dorian is like the perfect person, but it just, you know, I hope you guys understand what I'm saying. When you keep switching up the romantic relationships over and over and over again, I'm just like sick of it. I'm so sick of it. And now I'm like not even connected to them because I'm like, no. That and the like world building at the very end of the series is annoying to me. Those are my complaints, and I feel like they unfortunately do really hold me back from loving this series so much, and also adding like all of the new characters. And I don't know, maybe I'm just small-minded. I don't know. I'm probably just literally small-minded, but I just feel like when the series is this long, we should know the world, we should have our core characters already, and people should already be like in their relationships by, you would think, the third or fourth book. So yeah, those are my complaints. But other than that, I am liking the series. I'm questioning if I should take a break after these because I want Kingdom of Ash to be a really good experience, and it's making me feel so slumpy to work my way through this tandem read. Maeve is the queen of the Balg. officially am done with the tandem read, you guys. I actually really enjoyed that experience. I am glad that I read them together for the first time, but I do think that if I read the series again, I'll do them separately, just because I think it was kind of a lot to juggle. But for like my first experience with the books, I feel like it was good to read them together, because I do think I would have been super bored at the beginning of Tower of Dawn if I had read them separately, because obviously we know Empire of Storms at the end, Aelin gets taken by Maeve, so that's a big cliffhanger. And then the beginning of Tower of Dawn for me was pretty slow. I do love Chaol so much, as we know, so I was happy to just like be with him in the day-to-day, but it was slow, and I would have been like, even though I was doing the tandem, I still kind of felt like, okay, we can move this along a little bit. I can't recall if I already said this, but I do kind of feel like Tower of Dawn could be like 100 pages shorter, and maybe not 100 pages, maybe like 50 pages. But at the same time, I do appreciate like the slow buildup of Chaol and Yrene, because I feel like it made me feel attached to them more than I would have been if it was just kind of like, oh, we're together now. You know what? No more Tower of Dawn slander, because I do think that it was the right length. I feel like it was actually perfect. It was just a little bit slower, but I do think that that was intentional, because when I think about it, Nesryn is not my favorite character. I don't dislike her by any means. Like, she hasn't done anything to make me dislike her, but she's just not my favorite, and I didn't like Chaol and her together. And I think maybe part of that is because it was like thrown in there in Queen of Shadows. It was just like, oh, Chaol and Nesryn are like a thing now, and there was no like build up, and we didn't even really get to know Nesryn that much. And I still kind of feel like we didn't really get to know Nesryn as much, but in Tower of Dawn we do kind of get to know her a little bit more, but she's still like not my favorite character ever. But Chaol and Yrene, I approve so much. I honestly feel like Yrene is just the absolute perfect fit for Chaol. Like, truly, like, better than Aelin, which I never thought I would say, but here we are. I'm very happy with their relationship. I am very terrified also because of their like connected lives now, or their connected souls, whatever it is. I know for a fact that at some point in the book that's going to prove to be a massive problem. As far as Empire of Storms goes, I love Lysandra. Absolutely obsessed with her. I'm also obsessed with Aedion and Lysandra, and I'm obsessed with the way that Aedion treats Lysandra, and like how slow he's letting her like pick the pace. I mean, obviously at the end of Empire of Storms they're not on good terms, because Lysandra like planned that whole thing with Aelin behind everyone's back, so he's like, she's a lying bitch. But I'm assuming that's gonna go away at some point. Yeah, I just think Lysandra is such a badass. Definitely like an underrated character in my opinion. And oh my gosh, the part where Lysandra like takes down all those ships and all of those sea wyverns, and then she's like dying on the beach and Aedion's like, I'm gonna marry you. Just that whole scene was I was giggling and smiling so much at that scene. I loved it so much. I'm still trying to get on board with Rowan and Aelin. Not that I'm not on board with them, because I do feel like they are obviously like the best fit together. Like, they're mates, and it's like obvious why. I like Aelin and Rowan together. I don't have a problem with them together, but I don't know, for some reason, like, I don't feel super connected with their relationship the way that I do with, like, Chaol and Yrene, or even Aedion and Lysandra. That just could be a me thing, though, honestly. Also not entirely vibing with Dorian and Manon. I just feel like Dorian went from, like, this, like, lover boy to, like, not giving a shit anymore, and just, like, going for like the complete opposite of what he has always wanted. But like, I do understand why. So yeah, I understand why we are where we are with all of the different relationships. I still am feeling pretty stuck on Sorsha. I just really, really liked Dorian and Sorsha. But anyways, as far as politics go, Sartaq did not end up being suspicious or bad. So that's good. That's a positive. Yeah, there was just like a lot of crazy stuff that happened at the end of both books. But like the spiders being Volg, and then us finding out that Maeve is the queen of the Volg, which is so crazy, and them literally almost dying in that spider lair, Nezran and Sartaq and Falcon. Oh, that whole thing with like Falcon basically being Lysandra's long lost uncle. I literally love that for her and for him, so I'm very excited for them to meet. Falcon was like literally the savior for Nezran and Sartaq in that like spider lair. I am still like kind of confused about why and where Falcon came from, but I guess whatever. Duva being the one that was possessed, that was pretty crazy. I honestly didn't expect that to happen. I didn't expect it to be Duva. I thought that it was going to be, I didn't think it was going to be Hasar. I don't like Hasar, by the way. I don't know if anyone likes Hasar. I thought it might have been Caution, but yeah, that was a pretty crazy scene with them like down underneath the library, and I'm like so sad that Irene finally healed Chaol, and then now he's healed. He's like partially healed. Only if Irene is at her full power. But like Chaol has come such a long way. I'm so proud of him. Can you guys tell that I'm just like all about Chaol? He is kind of a dick sometimes. Don't like that, but I have a feeling he's better now. It was annoying how long it took the Coggin to actually get on Chaol and Irene's side, and it took like Irene literally saving Duva for the Coggin to even like consider sending troops. As far as Empire of Storms, I hate Darrow. I wonder what's gonna happen there. I am concerned about Lysandra pretending to be Aelin because it's bound to come out. It's bound to come out. Like, there's no way that she can possibly pretend to be Aelin for so long. I'm worried that someone is going to kill Lysandra. I knew that Ansel was going to come back. Very excited and happy that she's back, even though I hated her in Assassin's Blade, but she seems better now. Also very cool that the Silent Assassins came. Aelin is a mastermind. The Stone Marshes, that was creepy. That whole entire everything in the Stone Marshes was so creepy. Oh, Lorcan and Elodie. They're cute. They're cute. Okay. Never thought I would say that I like Lorcan. I like Lorcan for Elodie. Crazy that Gavriel lost his bond to Maeve or whatever it's called. But also I feel like it's a blessing in disguise. Like, I don't even think it's in disguise. Like, that's, you're lucky, dude. You're lucky that she unbonded you or whatever. I feel really bad for Fenris though. So we'll see what happens with that. Where's Rolf? Wondering about that. But yeah, if I think of anything else, I will let you know. And now we're on to the big boy, the very scary Brick. I was reading last night. I'm only on chapter 2. But I was reading last night in bed. Holding this makes me feel tempted to get the Kindle version. Not gonna lie. I'm trying to save money, even if it's just a little bit of money. I just probably just read my physical copy, but like it hurts my wrists. Like my wrists actually get injured. I'm so old, but in all honesty, this wrist gets messed up. So we'll see. Obviously, we're not far in. We know that Aelin is in the iron casket underwater. That's what we gleaned from her little chapter in the beginning. She said she can hear rushing water, and obviously Rowan's little chapter in the beginning, he's just searching everywhere for her. So Rowan and Gavriel and Lorcan are all on the hunt for Aelin. Dorian and Manon are looking for the third word key, I believe. Or they're going to look for the Crocans to see if the Crocans will side with them. Lysandra / Aelin and Adian are at the Allsbrook estate with Ren, and Evangeline just came back. There was some Volg demons coming up the side of the mountain pass that they took down, and they're currently just trying to figure out where to place their soldiers. And at the end of chapter 1, we found out that Erewhon has sent his troops to Eldris, the coast. I'm feeling very wary and scared. I'm just wondering who's gonna die. I just feel like it's gonna happen to somebody or multiple people. We'll just see. We'll see. I've seen some of the most crazy reactions coming out of this book, so let's go. I've been meaning to update you guys for a while now. I wanted to update you guys when I was a quarter of the way through, but I am a little bit over a third of the way through at this point, almost halfway through. Initial thoughts, I am loving this. Loving this so much, more than any of the other books already, which I kind of knew would happen because this is everyone's favorite. So much has happened already. Last time I updated you guys was before this first tab. Like, I was just barely in. So first up, my very first tab right here. I am annoyed that Irene is pregnant. I don't know. I thought that I didn't mind a pregnancy trope, but I'm learning more and more that they're starting to irritate me when they're just like thrown in there. I'm like, come on. I don't know. I just don't like it. So we found out that the final word key is in Morath, and Dorian is attempting to basically get away from the witches in order to go to Morath, but he was using Damaris to call on Gavin. Yeah, I think Gavin. So he called on Gavin, and then later on he called on Gavin again, but Kaltain came. And then Manon saw him talking to Kaltain, and she realized that he was plotting to go to Morath without talking to her about it at all. So that happened. And also, staying on the topic of the witches, they found the Krakens, and the Krakens are willing to help them, but they're trying to like save the other Krakens first. Like, they had to go to Eelway to try and help the other like band of Krakens, and then they got there and they were all dead, and it was all because Manon gave that tip to the Iron Teeth witches and then had that like skirmish thing so that she could like prove herself to the Krakens. So her and the 13 dug with their nails all of their graves, and now they just went to the Farian Gap, where they tried to convince the other Iron Teeth witches to join on their side, and they talked with like Petra and all of the other witches in the Farian Gap. So that's where we are with them. Dorian is going to go to Morath. Oh, Dorian is shifting now also. He learned how to shift. What else? So going back to Chaol, I'm sad because like it sounds so ridiculous, but like now that Irene is pregnant, Chaol and Irene kind of annoy me, which is so upsetting because I loved them. At the end of Tower of Dawn, I was obsessed with their relationship. I was so happy for them. So Chaol's dad basically figured out that she was pregnant and told Chaol while they were in the middle of a battle at Aniel. So they're currently still at Aniel, and Aelin and Rowan and everybody else in that pack just showed up in the war tent. So they're all kind of like giving each other the play-by-plays and updating each other on everything that's happened in the past, I don't know how long it's been, a few months or whatever. And they're planning their next attack on the Volg at Aniel. The torture that Aelin had to go through. Cairn is literally insane. Maeve is literally insane. Fenris and Aelin like making up their own language, blinking, was like so heart-wrenching and so like heartwarming at the same time. Like, oh my gosh, that whole situation was just rough. Fenris breaks the blood oath to Maeve to attack Cairn and help Aelin get away. That was so crazy and intense, and I love Fenris. When Aelin finally got to Lorcan and Gavriel and Alid after escaping, those like moments where she was like, take it off, take it off, take it off, to like the mask and the chains, that felt so real. I literally felt claustrophobic for her. I was like having a hard time breathing reading that. Whew, even now thinking about it, like that was very intense. So that was crazy. And then the little folk helping them, that was so sweet. Recharged a little bit in the little folk cave, and then they were taken on that boat to the nearest port, but they had to like go through those dark caves, and that's where like Aelin found the wedding rings for her and Rowan and got a bunch of gold to make their trip. Aelin has been training again to try and build back her strength. If we're wondering what exactly the moment is that I'm at, I'm on chapter 50, and they just told Aelin and Rowan and them that Maeve is a Volg queen. That is exactly where I'm at this moment. Not gonna lie, guys, for a minute there, I was like, what are you doing, Dorian? What are you doing? I was literally questioning him. Dang. You've really trapped Maeve within her own trap. Like, I love you, sir. I'm not finished yet. We have lost the 13 and Gavriel. Why am I tearing up even talking about it? I have 80 pages left. I am currently at the part where Aelin is like alone with Maeve, but then the cadre come and Maeve like sucks the cadre into like her darkness, and then Rowan starts screaming. So that's where I'm at. I'm gonna finish up these last 80 pages today. Wish me luck. Pray for me. Hello, guys. I can't believe I'm saying this, but we are finally at the end of this journey. I have finished Kingdom of Ash. I have been changed as a person. This officially gets a spot in one of my favorite series of all time. Honestly, kind of figured that would happen. This series really just shook me, especially at the end. I think I did have a hard time for a while getting into it. I've actually started the editing process of this vlog and just going back and watching what it was like, just going back and like seeing all of my thoughts playing out as I was reading. I think I kind of had a hard time with some parts. Like I said at the beginning of this vlog, a lot of this series is just a lot of buildup to like a smashing ending. I absolutely loved how everything tied in at the end. I was truly losing my mind. Even just thinking about it now, I could cry. The scene with Asterin telling Manon to live, and then her and the 13 going and just blowing up the witch tower. I have goosebumps right now on my legs because of that. I was so scared the whole time about who was gonna die. I was so sad about Gavriel, like that whole scene. It's just like, oh, I could start crying again. It's just so like unfair. It's just so unfair for Adian. God, yeah. Okay. It's just so unfair that he finally kind of, in like the last second of them being together, he finally like started to be okay with his dad. And then literally as he just decides he's gonna work with his dad and be okay, Gavriel is taken from us. So that was intense. I almost said Feyre. Aelin. Aelin forging the lock. That was super intense. Oh my gosh. The King of Otterlin coming and like tapping Dorian out. Oh my gosh. And Elena and the gods, like, hello? Oh my gosh. And then she's just like falling through all of the different worlds as she's like coming back. Crazy. It was just so crazy. And then Yrene just like saving the day. I realize I'm like all over the place. I'm just like going back and remembering how amazing this book was. I don't even remember when my last update was. It must have been, it was when I had like 100 pages left. For that, I don't even remember where I was at. But this is 5 stars. This was my favorite book of the whole thing. Queen of Shadows is my second favorite. Aelin is such a badass. As we know, I'm still obsessed with Chaol. Here we are at the end of the series, and I'm still in love with him. If I could pick anyone to be with, I think it would be him. But I did grow to like Rowan a lot and all of the cadre. I don't know if I said this, but I actually was obsessed with Lorcan and Elide. Loved them so much. The whole scene where Elide just like goes onto the battlefield before the dam breaks and she's just looking everywhere for Lorcan. Just so many good parts in this one, guys. I feel a little bit disappointed with Dorian's story and Manon. I mean, I'm glad Manon got the wastes back and like she is a whole badass in herself, and how she's like the queen of the witches now. Like that's so amazing. Like that part of her story, I'm so happy, but I just feel so freaking sad about the 13. And I don't feel like I ever fully accepted Manon and Dorian. I just didn't really feel much chemistry between them, I guess. Maybe I'm just bitter because I loved Sorsha so much, and I just felt like Dorian and Sorsha were like, that was it. Like that, I don't know. I just feel like Dorian and Manon are so different, and I just didn't feel the chemistry between them, but it is what it is. I am actually very excited now to start Crescent City. Not right away, but I know a lot of people have been telling me that you kind of need to read Crescent City before ACOTAR 6 comes out because there's like a tie-in. So I will need to do that before ACOTAR 6 comes out. Am I an ACOTAR or a Throne of Glass girly? That is difficult to say, you guys, to be honest. I still think I am leaning towards ACOTAR, but what you have to know about me is that ACOTAR was like the first fantasy series that I ever read when I got back into reading as an adult. Like the only other fantasy I had ever read was Harry Potter. And that was like my all-time favorite fantasy. And I didn't ever think that anything could ever compare. And I didn't know that books could be so good when I read ACOTAR. And so ACOTAR just has a very special place in my heart. I don't think it necessarily means that ACOTAR is better than Throne of Glass. I just think it holds a different kind of nostalgia for me. Like, I just don't think that anything could ever beat the feeling that I got when I read ACOTAR, because it was like the lights turning back on for me, like in terms of reading. I think they are both very good, but I do also think they're both very different from each other. So it's hard to kind of say if I'm an ACOTAR or a Throne of Glass girly. I will admit this vlog series did take a long time, and it was kind of a mental toll a little bit, which also could have been why I felt like it was slow, because I was kind of like forcing myself to read them. But anyways, I would love to chat with you guys in the comments all about Throne of Glass. I would love to know what your thoughts are. When did you guys read this? Did you have the same feelings as me? Did you have different feelings? I want to talk all things Throne of Glass in the comments with you guys. So just give me all of your thoughts. As much as it kind of like took a toll, I did really enjoy filming this vlog and chatting through the whole entire series. But that's it, guys. I feel so sad that it's over. I can't believe it's over. Like, I'm happy for it to be over because now I can read other books. But at the same time, I'm just like, I just want it to be never ending. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed, and I will see you guys next week. Bye.